My name's Aaron, welcome back to my channel. How are you? I am fantastic and I'm very excited about this one actually. I had to search and search for this. There's I think 4 or 5 fragrances that are key fragrances in my life, have memories attached to them. As you probably understand, my fragrance memory is really crazy actually, and it will trigger off memories. My memories when I was growing up are emblazoned with colour and emblazoned with fragrance. So I can remember where I grew up in Cornwall, we had a pittosporum wood because we grew up in a flower and chicken farm. And if I go back now, I can smell the ozone, smell the damp of the pittosporum wood, the moss and all of that. And I can smell the pittosporum, that sort of like slightly eucalyptusy sort of tart smell that goes with them, sort of camphorous sort of smell. So my sense of smell is quite acute. Today I'm very excited. I had to really search for this one. I am reviewing, for your viewing pleasure, Gucci Rush for Men. I'm hoping when I spray this we get some memories, and as this channel's growing I feel like I want to share a little bit of my past with you. It helps you to understand who I am as a person, and all of you on there generally tend to be lovely. The majority of you I think will love these because it lets you in a little bit more. So I don't know what's going to happen with these. I'm doing one straight after that's probably going to really trigger me, so we'll see about that one. But this one I'll try and explain about why it's special. But this cost me about £150, and I remember the box being plastic, so you won't have your samples because this is really rare. And the ones that are memory ones, I actually buy full sizes because it's like I like looking at the bottles because they make me feel very happy. So let's get on with it. This smells exactly, I can remember I'm getting full body tingling. Goodness me, I'm probably gonna get a little bit high in this. The notes are lavender, cypress, spices, cedar, musk, and patchouli. It's discontinued, so I don't know what the price was or what I used to pay for it, but this is really special because for years I only bought one fragrance at a time. I didn't have much money for years, so I had one special fragrance, you see, and this was my going out fragrance. I think I used to wear probably a little bit of essential oils in the week, and this one was when I used to go out. One thing I meant to say is if you're triggered by stories of drugs and all of that, please turn away now, because this is obviously my past is I'm very open about my past. I used to do a lot of recreational drugs, and this will have a lot of those sort of stories in. So please, if you are triggered by that sort of thing, please go to another video. But this is quite a personal one, so I want to sort of let you in a bit. I'm actually smelling pepper, which is not mentioned. Pepper, cypress and cedarwood, so it's a very dry compound built on white musks. The cedarwood is beautiful. So this contains naturals juxtaposed to sort of the linolols and that sort of stuff. It smells quite simple actually. It has ionones in, which give a nice dry. This is a very masculine smelling fragrance. It's very nice, very commercial. I used to wear this when I was hairdressing. I think this might have been the period before or my GCSEs, or when I just started my GCSEs. I think this was when I just started to re-educate myself, you see. So this is why this is quite special. And I used to work in Plymouth and I was hairdressing full time. And then what I did is I carried on hairdressing and started my GCSEs, and then I moved on to A-levels. But every Saturday, me and my friends, we used to go out and take ecstasy and amphetamines, because could you imagine this sort of energy even higher? And what is very interesting is that taking things to sort of speed up the brain it stopped the perfume brain communicating with me. So I actually had a bit of freedom from the perfume brain. The perfumery brain is quite Tourette'sy. I'm not saying I have Tourette's, but it's quite Tourette'sy, and I have to filter it. But it says things, and people who are very close to me know it's quite naughty, and it just says stuff, and it likes swearing. And at that point I've had to learn to sort of, now I can filter it without drugs. So I've been free of drugs for 4 years I think, but then I used to take a lot of drugs because it used to help control that sort of over-dominant perfume brain. I didn't understand it, and I was actually very frightened of it for a long time. Now I totally embrace it, and it's I sort of live with it. It's like a very dominant artistic brain. So this reminds me of clubbing, this reminds me of grime, this reminds me of the taste of the nitrile groups in ecstasy and amphetamines and all that sort of stuff. So this is what this reminds me of, getting a taste of drugs. street drugs. So I'm getting lots of memories. I'm getting massive amounts of memories. I'm actually seeing the guy used to come around and drop drugs off in his little car. He had really massive hair. And I used to wear this, and I went to a really big warehouse event where Sonic, she was DJing. So I'm seeing that now. I'm smelling the smell of early 2000s and sort of around all that sort of thing, and I'm sort of smelling and the excitement. I used to love going out dancing. I was a dancer years ago, which is why they're dancing hands. So I used to love going out dancing. I still love going dancing, and I'm missing desperately my dancing lessons every Saturday. So I'm sort of seeing now warehouse parties. I'm not feeling high, but I'm sort of going into that sort of excitement of taking recreational drugs and the sort of the closeness that comes from lots of people taking ecstasy together. Instead, the mental health problems from taking street drugs is horrific. So I battled with terrible anxiety because of all of that. So the flip side of all of that is years of depression, anxiety, self-harming. So I wish I had accepted this unicorn brain, because I wouldn't have done that. Isn't that sad? I tried to fit in to society for most of my life, when actually the thing that makes me unique and amazing is the bit that makes me different. And I would hope that parents out there with little unicorn children allow them to be who they are, and really encourage them to be their own unique individual person. Because I would love that, a world full of people just being themselves and not trying to fit in with society and what the media says that we have to be, what the media says that men have to be, what the media says all these things have to be. The moment you break free, the moment you are fabulously happy. I can promise you that. And it is not through drugs, it is through acceptance of yourself. But anyway, enough babbling, back to this fragrance. It is just really the eugenol combined with sort of the oak mosses and all of it, I think is fabulous. So in this case, this sort of smells in between sort of French and American perfumery. I think it's fabulous. I still think it's really good. I love the peppery note in this. You've heard me say I don't really like dominant peppery fragrances. This is not overly dominantly pepper. It is pepper combined, twisting with the ionones, twisting with the isoe super backbone. So it's sort of twisting and moving. It is really lovely. It's absolutely fantastic. I wonder why they discontinued it. What a shame. It's just really lovely, dry, typical from the Gucci ones I've smelled. It just smells really like Gucci, really high street, really designer, really fabulous. So I'll go through the marks, which is really difficult for this. Technically, it's fabulous, so I give it a 4 out of 4. I think it's really brilliant, a little bit simplistic, but then in the 2000s, I think it's fabulous. The price, well, I think it's massively overpriced. I paid £150, so, but I think it was maybe £50 for 100ml, so I think it's absolutely worth the price. So then it would have been 2 out of 2, now it's 0 out of 2 because it's £150. Do I like it? I massively love it because of the memories and the happiness, and again I'm remembering the hard work I had to do initially when I did my GCSEs. I couldn't write. Could you imagine that? I couldn't write, so I had to relearn how to write and spell. So now, 20 years on, I can write and spell and type and all that. So again, it's going back and showing that the power of education is quite phenomenal. I've literally changed my brain to be able to write, and I have occasional spellings to make occasional things, but you could understand my writing now. Then it used to be incredibly dyslexic. From the memories attached and how it is, it gets a 10 out of 10, but I'm going to market it another way, which is personally, do I like it? I think it's very simplistic, actually. So I think it's a little bit too simplistic for my liking. So if I think of it now from a professional point of view, I think a little bit too simplistic. I'd give it a 1.5. Maybe a 1, maybe 2, but I'm going to give it generous. I'm going to give it a 2 out of 4. So where I want the marks to sit is from how I'm feeling, incredibly blissed out, happy. Just, it makes me realise actually the hard work and determination I've done on this journey. It gets a 10. I actually feel really proud of myself for the GCSE, being incredibly dyslexic. You know my history. It was the struggle I've had to get here. So this is reminding me of, you know, yeah, I've done good, but from a professional point of view, I think it should be about a 7. I think it's slightly too simplistic for my liking, but technically it's phenomenal, fabulous. Love it. I'm so pleased I bought it. I'm going to put it on my shelf with all my lovely, lovely little treasures. I've actually got some other products there, some hair products which I bought which have been completely discontinued, and sometimes I smell them and I'm taken back to when I went to America in the year 2000 with a hair care brand called Sebastian, and I was a hair artist then, so I went to LA and San Francisco, and that product I smell because it takes me straight back, and that blisters me out as well. So I've got like a little shelf of things that I can smell that take me right back literally into the period I'm at. This period of my life was really fantastic, but also really, really sad, because I was battling with the start of terrible mental health that came from, you know, up my brain with ecstasy, cocaine, and all that bullshit. Anyway, I hope you love this review and this little trip down memory lane. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you soon for a fragrance review.